Williams got penalized in a recent match at the U.S. Open, and it's kind of made the news. What a lot of people are saying is that this could have something to do with sexism or things like that because the judge wouldn't have enforced these rules on a man. I think that's all sour grapes. Look, in any other sporting event, when an athlete complains about the refs or the officials, we always just say, look, suck it up. Like, that's not what a true champion does. Make no mistake about it. I actually am a Serena Williams fan. I think she's probably the best women's tennis player that I've ever seen. I don't know a lot about the history of tennis, but I would think she's probably highly qualified to be the best that's ever existed. And let me also just say right here, like, she's coming off a pregnancy and she is still that good. That is amazing to me. I think that it's an amazing story. Yeah, she lost her temper, and yeah, there's things that have gone on around about. Like, there was the whole controversy with McEnroe, people trying to say, oh, he should say she's the best player ever. How dare he insinuate she can't beat some men? Look, she can't beat some men. That whole argument is ridiculous. It's just true. Most men tennis players are better than women tennis players, but there's no shame in that. She competes against her contemporaries, and she is fantastic. However, she flies off the handle sometimes. I've seen it before, and yeah, I mean, much like any athlete, I certainly never played at any really high competitive level. I was a high school athlete in the loosest sense of the word, and even I'd get chippy with refs and stuff if they called me for something, so I get that mentality. If it's your life like that and you're playing at the highest level, sure, you're going to get upset, so I don't really blame her much for it. I just think it's funny how everyone wants to jump on like this is some kind of like huge civil rights or gender issue or something. To me, it's just absurd, And the coach admitted that he was the first warning she got was for her coach coaching her in the stands. I'm not quite sure why the U.S. Open has this rule anyways. So what if the coach wants to give hand signals? I don't see what the big deal is. But they all agree to play by the rules. That's the rule. She said that he wasn't giving signals. The coach later admitted he was, but wasn't sure if Serena saw it, and basically the other side was doing it too. I mean, who cares if that's the case? If you're watching a football game, the coach looks really bad if they come out after the game and it's like, yeah, sure, they called that holding call on us, but they should have called the other side too. Everyone's like, look, man, just get over it. That's sports. Refs make mistakes. I don't even think this judge made a mistake necessarily, but and then she smashed her racket and lost a point for that, and then was proceeding to argue and lost a game for that. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think Serena will bounce back, and I think people are trying to make it more of an issue than it actually is. My advice to Serena would be, you are the best tennis player, woman's tennis player in the world. Just get back on it. Let this be a chip in your shoulder. Go back out, win next time. I'll certainly cheer for her again. I enjoy watching her. So, but yeah, I think people are getting hyperbolic. And, then there's accusations that some cartoonist in Australia drew a cartoon of her throwing a fit and that was racist. I don't know about all that. I mean, it's just, to me, it's another, people want to make sports into politics and like these social justice causes. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I think the story's, like, to me, the story is, this is a woman that just had a child less than a year ago, and she's competing at the highest level. This is, I believe, the second major she lost in the finals to since then. Like, that is an incredible story. That is an incredible athlete at the top of her game, even if she only took second in both those. And instead, it's like, we got to change it into this story. Like, half the people are like, oh, she's such a bad attitude, I'm glad she lost. I don't know about all that. And the other half the people are jumping on the like, oh, well, she's being affected because she's a woman or because of her race or something like that. I don't buy all that either. I like watching tennis. I like Serena. I'll be cheering for her in the future, and wish people, like other sports, would just focus on the sports of it and leave the politics out of it.